Welcome to this short but hopefully informative video on making tax digital. My name is Andy Hall. I'm the Help Desk Manager here at Nolan's Business Solutions. The idea behind this particular video is to go over the bridging portion of our Making Tax Digital software. So the bridging portion of the software is version and system agnostic when it comes to submitting tax. The reason for this being is it's coming from an Excel spreadsheet and it's going nowhere near your system. So what is Nolan Cloud Services? So Nolan Cloud Services is the platform that we have created our Making Tax Digital solution on. And there are two parts to this solution. There's linking and bridging. So linking would be the part that actually connects directly into your ERP system, and the links we've created so far have been for Dynamics GP. However, we also do bridging, which is where the information can be submitted via a spreadsheet or a CSV file and uploaded into the solution as well, and then pushed on into the HMRC portal. Our whole system has been approved by HMRC, so if we look down here, this is just an excerpt from HMRC's website, but you can go on there and check and you'll find us on there as one of the approved systems, and our system will deal with liabilities and all those good things as well as just the bridging. So, quick overview of the system. What we have here in the middle is our VAT Submission software, which is sitting on Nolan's Cloud Services. Over here is HMRC's portal. Down the bottom will be your ERP system. As I said, our system was originally devised for Microsoft Dynamics GP. But what we're going to be talking about you today is bridging, which means it can come from an Excel spreadsheet over the side here, which means it doesn't really matter what the ERP system is over here, or indeed what version of that system it is on, because at the end of the day we're typing into a spreadsheet. Okay, so what will happen is if you log into our VAT Submission software, it will go off to HMRC and it will bring back your obligations, i.e. VAT returns that you need to submit, etc. You can then push your VAT return up from the, pull up from the spreadsheet with all the relevant information, which can then be submitted across to HMRC digitally. HMRC will then send back your liabilities, i.e. what's in box 5 of your VAT return. And then when you've made your payments, etc., they will notify you that they've been paid and all of that as well. So that's basically how it hangs together. Known as Cloud Services, so that's all based on Microsoft Azure. So it's nice and secure, it's all backed up. Microsoft can expand it and contract it as we need extra memory and space, etc. And it's banking level security. On top of that, we're adding our own security. At the moment, we're looking at dual factor authentication, so you'll be able to use Google Authenticator apps, etc. We're licensing it as a service. There's no upfront fee. You can sign up for a free trial account and try this yourself, see if it's going to work for you. And once you want to go live with it, there is an annual subscription, and it's £250 per VAT entity. So a VAT entity could be a VAT group, so could be 6 companies or more together in a VAT group. You only pay £250 for that group. If you've got 6 companies but they're all individual VAT entities, you have to pay 6 times £250 because each is an individual entity. That's how it's licensed, and obviously it can be accessed via a web browser from anywhere. Okay, so I mentioned you can have a trial account, and that's free, no obligations. So even if you're only vaguely thinking this might work for you, by all means set up a trial account and have a look. You can create a trial account by going to our website, nolansbusinesssolutions.com or .co.uk, either work. Go into the solutions part of the website, and under there you will find VAT submissions, and there is a link there to create a trial account. There's also a lot of more information about the solution. Also, you could go straight to nolancloudservices.com and create an account from there. When you do this, you will get to this login window. So as you can see, you can create a free trial account. So we'll click on the free trial account. All you've got to do, put in your email address, password, confirm the password, an account name. So the account name is the name of your company. It's not your individual name. We've had a couple of people do that, and it's got a little bit confusing. So it's the name of the company that you're working for. Agree to our T's and C's. You can see them there, and then confirm you're not a robot. So we'll fill in some of that information, and we'll create the account. It's automatically going to send you back your account number, that bit you need, and an authentication token. This bit you don't need if you're doing the bridging. So don't worry about saving this. If at some point you are going to be using the linking method because you're on Dynamics GP, then yeah, put this to one side, but there are other methods of getting that token back. But if you're purely thinking about bridging at the moment because you're on an older version of GP, that's not supported for our linking, so that would be prior to GP 2010, GP 2010 and above we can link to, or you're on another piece of software, Sage 200 or something along those lines that hasn't done a Making Tax Digital solution for its older versions, and you want to use our bridging method, then again you're not going to need to worry about any of those. So we'll ignore that for the time being. It's going to send us an email to verify the account, so we click on that, we know who we are, and we're now into our Nolan Cloud Services. So our account's been verified, refresh that, and we're in. So here we go, we've got our admin portal here. So this is admin for cloud services, and this part is VAT submission. There will be other blue blocks appearing over time as we produce more and more software that we will be pushing up through our cloud platform. But at the moment, this is the admin for cloud services itself, and this is the VAT submission. So we'll go into the admin for cloud services, and at this point we can see there's the user we created when we set up our trial account. You can create as many users as you want. Obviously you're going to need more than one. You don't have all your eggs in one basket if that person goes away on holiday or becomes ill or anything like that. So we can create a new user quite simply. Click on the new user box, put in the details. You can make them change password at the next thing, save. Now I've got 2 users. We're not charging by the user, so you can have as many of those as you want. However, I wouldn't suggest you want everybody in your organization set up as a user. Okay, so we've got new users, and at this point we can go into our account settings, and as we can see, this is stuff we set up, company address, all those kinds of things. This is the important bit here, because obviously that's where any billing is going to go, so that you might want to change that from an individual email address to finance or something at your organization. Okay, so we're all set up. We don't need to bother with any of these tokens or ERP connectors because we're going to be using the bridging method, but we've got to have something to bridge to, and that is the VAT entity. So we'll go over creating a VAT entity in the Nolan Cloud Services account. So in Nolan Cloud Services again, we'll come back in, and this time we're going to VAT submission. So we're going to create a new entity, so we'll come down here, entities, new entity. We're going to create a live entity, but if you're doing this as a trial account, there are some very small differences. Main one being you can't actually submit to HMRC with a trial entity, and it doesn't link out to HMRC. So we're going to create a new entity here. You're going to need an entity name, so that should be something descriptive, because obviously if you've got individual entities and you've got group entities, you could have multiple ones in here that you need to submit from. So make sure the naming convention means something sensible to yourself, and if it's not a trial entity, you'll put in the VAT registration number of that entity in this box here. If it's a trial entity, it will just say trial in there and it won't allow you to put anything in. You'll notice there's a warning here that's going to take you out to HMRC, because this is going to be a run through of a live entity, so the next stage would be to connect it to HMRC. So we put our details in there, and click and create, and out it goes to the HMRC website, so it's going to take you here. Now, word of warning at this point, you need to have told HMRC via their website that you want to submit to your tax digitally from this point onwards. Once you've done that, there is no going back. Okay, so make sure this is something you want to do. This is why we have the trial entity, and the trial entity doesn't do this stage, so that you can set it up and test it without having to go past the point of no return with HMRC. Okay. So what we're doing here is clicking continue. It will take us into HMRC. We put in our login details for HMRC. And at this point we're granting authority for us to submit tax on your behalf. At any point you can come in here and remove this authority, so it's not the end of the world if you decide that after submitting one with us you don't want to submit anymore, etc. We have had several successful submissions already from clients. So we're going in here, we're going to grant authority, and at this point HMRC is now exchanging tokens with Nolan's Cloud Services so that it knows that this VAT entity is the entity that it needs to submit for in HMRC, and the two are linked. And as you can see, it tells us when that HMRC authentication will expire, so they are linked up until that point. There's our VAT registration number and the company was set up. This one's actually saying a data source of financial software data at the moment because it's looking at a link for one that's set up to Microsoft Dynamics GP. We're not bothered about that at the moment, but I'll just use this window to explain some more of the real estate on this window. Obviously over here we've got obligations, so once it's committed to HMRC it'll be able to tell you obligations, i.e. what you're due to submit, and there we can see we've got one that's open that hasn't been submitted yet, and once liabilities and things come through they'll be down here. So we're going to want to change this, and we're going to come down here and we're going to change it to an Excel file, okay, because we're not interested in the link to the finance system at the moment. We're purely going to use the bridging software. Okay, so we're going to click on the Excel file, and you just notice that's changed on the right hand side now to allow me to browse out and pick up a file. Now we don't expect you to magic up your own format for a file. You can download here by clicking on this link an Excel file template, but I'm going to browse out and pick up an Excel spreadsheet. So this is what it looks like. Literally it's 9 boxes. If you are already reporting in an Excel spreadsheet or something like that and you want to have it automatically updating this, there's no problem. You can put in some VLOOKUPs or something along those lines. That would be great. Or you can just manually fill in the 9 boxes if you want to. So there we go, they're in there. We're going to open that, populates this, and literally we're just going to import it. There's our 9 boxes filled. Great. All we need to do now is submit that to HMRC. And as you can see up here, it's telling me that the import is successful. So because we were approved with HMRC, one of the hoops we had to jump through is making sure that this declaration comes up so that you realize that you are making a legal submission here. And you then have to tick this tick box to say that you confirm all this. So actually you can't accidentally submit something. You have to go through clicking that tick box and then click OK. I'll go off and submit that VAT return to HMRC, and you will get a submission receipt back. So we get all our numbers and all this, etc. from HMRC. That's all good. And as we can see down here, that it's now telling us that that particular VAT return has been fulfilled and received at HMRC. So that's all good. Next time we log in, hopefully they will send us our liabilities, so they'll show up there, which has been period 5, and then when we've paid through our normal payment method and we log back in here again, it will tell us that payment has been received on date, time, and all those good things. So as you can see, you can use it as a purely bridging solution without any link to the ERP system at all. Word of warning on that, obviously HMRC want the VAT to be submitted via the link method. That's the whole point of this. So these bridging methods will be discontinued in 2020, but this does give you a little bit of breathing space. So if you've got an older version of a bit of software and you don't want to upgrade just yet, or you're thinking, actually, if I've got to upgrade, why don't I move across to another piece of software that's already got a solution built in, etc., then this will give you the breathing space to put that project in place and get that move going, so you can use this up until 2020. So that's the bridging piece of our software. If you've got any questions, please do feel free to contact us here at Nolan's Business Solutions. There's lots of information on the website. Please do go and have a look at the cloud service stuff and sign up for the trial account and give it a go. You don't have to be a current Nolan's client. You don't even have to be on Dynamics GP or any of the other ERP solutions that we support. As I say, the bridging software is system agnostic and version agnostic. Thank you very much for your time.